Welcome to Tattered Capes, where we explore the best of aging opportunities and the potential they hold for our future in a fun, meaningful, and engaging format.
Even though our capes might be a bit tattered, the superhero in all of us has a lot more resilient living to do. Catherine Owens is the owner of CLO Consulting, a trusted aging well authority and advisor in innovative senior living solutions.
I'm joined by Scott Fulton, longevity expert and owner of Home Ideations, a national leader in living environment design.
Welcome to the Tattered Capes podcast. I'm your host, Scott Fulton, and joined by my lovely co-host, Catherine Owens. Welcome, Catherine.
Well, Scott, it's good to see you again, as always.
We have been having a lot of fun, folks, getting ready for this, and we're excited to finally get going. And we're going to take a minute and let you know a little bit about who we are, what the show's about, and what you can expect. So maybe off the top of the show, we are not the usual pairing you might see on a podcast. We disagree on a lot of things, but we also agree on a bunch of things too, right, Catherine?
Yes, but since we're keeping it short, we won't get into that.
So let's kind of talk about what's different or what's unique about kind of where we come into this playing together in this little sandbox we call the Tattered Capes podcast.
I think that the biggest thing that's unique about us is really our backgrounds and our experience, and our focus professionally are really at opposite ends. The landscape is changing quite a bit as what people are looking at for quality of life in communities and homes. What's
unique again is that we come from that interesting place of being able to look at the end of life just because of the different types of work that we do, to really look back and reflect on what might I have done differently had I known what I know now, whenever that is. Those of us who work in this space,
life.
Right? We get that unique chance to kind of look at our own lives and reflect learning through others. And that's partly, I think, the power of what you and I bring. And it's because we come from different perspectives that we do get to kind of put that lens on. And that's what's, I think, when we started talking over a year ago, that's what kind of got us excited about learning, right, from the other side. Like, what's going on over there? Well, I made so many assumptions, right?
Absolutely.
And I think the other part is kind of coming back to today, because I teach a lot about health and longevity, is that the runway I'm on today, like, where am I going in that? Right. And you are the same, like, we're on a very similar runway in terms of how do we want to live life? Like, we want to live it big. We want to live it, love the moment and not kind of trade everything away in the process. And that to me is all about trying to figure out what's important. And we get into those conversations just all the time. Right. And what's important to you probably isn't the same thing that's important to me, or at least some of them are going to be different.
No, that's where
I can tell you a lot are different.
But the thing that's fun is, in a world where people have a hard time sometimes with those conversations because their views differ or because their wants and needs differ, you and I really do have fun exploring different ideas and different options and different ways of thinking. And I think all of us, I was just thinking this morning that saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And I'm not saying you're the smartest person in this room, Scott, but I'm just saying that
I'm the only person in this room, so
yes,
I'm also the dumbest. Yeah.
Life is about learning, and I think we get stuck in what we've always known or what we've always thought we should do, and we miss out on maybe new and exciting opportunities when we are stuck in that mindset. And so it's fun to explore with you, just from opposing and not even opposing ends, different ends, more possibility. And I think it encompasses all stages of life, is to really be open to possibility. And I think with the Tattered Capes idea, it's that, we've been through life. We are still going through life. And sometimes it's a little bit harder than others. And it's that we talk about keeping that balance, but regardless of whatever situation we are in, or how tattered our cape is, we still have the ability to have fun, live life, influence outcomes, and still appreciate the simple and important moments.
Yeah. And as you're talking there, I thought of something else. When we think about the whole aging process, it is so filled with uncertainty. And I think that's one of the areas which I really try to work on with people, and that you and I get into, is there's a lot of uncertainty that we can start to kind of whittle away at and realize there's far more certainty around some things and what we can influence. And so it's fine to talk about doing more, fitness and eat differently and things. But there isn't a lot of certainty often that's offered with that. And I think that's one of the areas that we're kind of unique, that because we've seen different outcomes and we research and we look at those things. And so it's not just a, somebody up on a soapbox preaching about what you aren't doing right. And if you would just do this, and if you would just, fast, or you just do this, everything would be perfect. No, it's not really kind of how it works. It may,
No.
it sounds good in the moment. And then you kind of realize a day or two later, yeah, that's all come and gone. And I didn't really get as much out of that as I expected. So I think we're committed to kind of go in the long run with everybody. We're certainly enjoying the run. We've got, I think, some real good intentions about what you and I want to do in our lives. Good intentions with what we want to do with the show. It'll be a bit of a mix on any given day. Sometimes it's going to be Catherine and I talking about some topics, and Catherine knows some really, really good people that we're going to get in as guests. That's right, isn't
it? See, it's already working. But I think too, it's and you talk about this, it's not a one size fits all. And I think it can feel overwhelming when we start talking about change, and change is scary and change is hard, or trying to, even as busy as we get with everything, incorporate one more thing into our day-to-day lives. And I love that we keep it fun, we keep it simple, easy takeaways. We're not telling people what to do. We're, maybe posing suggestions or giving examples. But, as we talk about, I work with older adults, and sometimes we can feel like life is over, or we just have nothing left to give, or we have nothing left to contribute. And I tell you, with age comes wisdom and experience. And that's when I learn the most, and I experience just varying perspectives. And so it is fun to hear from other people, and it will be fun to hear from our guests just with their backgrounds and experience. And the goal is to not tell people what to do, but give people positive takeaways that maybe can influence their life or motivate them to influence their own outcomes on the things they can control. Because like you said, you can't control everything, but there are things that we can control.
Yeah. I think there's, and because of the type of work that we do, I think we find ourselves trying to help, or not trying. It's pretty evident that we have helped a lot of adult children, right? Trying to work with their parents, and how do you figure out that family dynamic when that comes under stress that no one's ever really been through before? When roles get reversed, that can be quite unsettling, going through that phase of life. So we've got lots of practice there, I think. And I think generally we'll get into kind of, we say, the conversations that people tend to avoid, some unpredictable conversations maybe that that you might think are taboo, that that we just are used to having every day. And that's helpful because these are conversations that ultimately help us make choices in our own lives when we understand the values of certain things that we assign to them and make sure they're in alignment. So yeah, it's I am just so excited that we decided to do this. I'm excited that I've got you, Catherine, to do this with, because I would not be doing it without you. So thank you for stepping up, and really, I think you were the provocation for this to happen. So we owe it all to you.
Well, thanks, Scott. Are we recording? Did we record that?
I'm not saying it's going to make it to the final cut.
Okay, good. No, truly. And I thank you. I feel the same way about you. And I think when you do, all of us, whether it's just in life or professionally, whenever we meet someone that we can have great conversations with and we can learn from and we can share with, it's those moments where you're like, oh, that person gets it. Or, they're just, I love their energy. I love the way that they think. I love that I can, learn from them. And you really have been that person for me in this last year as we've done this. I don't want to say you're refreshing, but it has been refreshing to hear different perspectives, because we go along and we can get so caught up and passionate about how we're serving others. And there's so many other opportunities to individually grow and to help others grow. So I appreciate you being here as well, Scott. And
Wonderful.
just because we need to get this out on every show, you're right, Scott.
We're going to have a show called You're Right. That's all it's going to be. Catherine saying
right.
for 40 minutes, you're right, you're right, you're right. But everyone will be different. That'll be the challenge.
Yes.
I'm going to give you some time to prepare for that. So one of the things we want to make sure, like for our audience, any topic that you're interested in, boy, reach out. And so how would people reach out and contact us, Catherine?
The easiest way is to go to our website, tatteredcapes.com, and there is a contact form that you can fill out. We would love to hear show ideas and what we're finding. And Scott, you said taboo topics. Maybe we need to clarify a little bit, but
no way. I got to leave that hanging.
Don't keep them guessing. There are a lot of topics that when people start asking questions, you'd be surprised at how many people are going through similar things or want to talk about something and don't know how to. So we'd love your show ideas, any feedback. If you want to just write, you're right, Scott. I'll take it. So tatteredcapes.com. Awesome.
Well, thanks, Catherine. Great to be up and running alongside you. We're going to have a lot of fun. And to you, the audience, it's just, it's our honor to have you along with us and choosing to spend a bit of time with us. And we hope to value that time, or put value into that time that you spend with us. And so with that, let's wrap it up and get on to the next show.
Sounds good, Scott. Have a fantastic day and visit our website, tatteredcapes.com. Thanks for joining us for today's episode of Tattered Capes. To learn more about the show, visit tatteredcapes.com and subscribe on your favorite platform. Until then, stay curious and remember, the superhero in all of us has a lot more resilient living to do. See you on the next show.